Hello everybody and welcome to another YouTube video. Today I will be teaching you guys about arrays and files. Now for now, don't worry about this. For now, I'll teach you about arrays. Arrays is this. Now arrays are basically a bunch of data. And they can be of type string, int, double, boolean, you name it. Now arrays have to be given information in order to be stored, so we'll give them a sub 0 equals 1, a sub 1 equals 2, a sub 2 equals 3, and a sub 4 equals 4. Now, before we go, whoa, I made a mistake. It's 1 for some reason ahead. Why is it a sub 0? Well, computers, as we know, start from the number 0. That's why it's 0 here. And this number right here says how much storage will be allocated to this array. So in square brackets A, or in the array A of type integer, will be given 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, which is actually 5 because if you count, it's 5. Now we can run this in a for loop and say, hey, suit tab a sub I. Now what that does, it says a, the location of I, or the a sub the location of I, which right now I is equal to 0, so a sub 0, we print that out. So please remember, understand this. This all might seem complicated. I'm rushing through this really fast, but I'll go over this right now. So see, it prints out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you didn't understand this, listen, I will teach you in just a minute. But for those of you who understood this really quick, simple, easy, then just go on, skip a little bit ahead, and because I'm going to be explaining this more in depth right now. This means that the array, these are just like symbols for an array, is of type integer. Right here, this is where we write int. This is just for arrays. This is the name of the array, is equal to a new integer, and square brackets 5 means the amount of data we can store, which is 5 variables right now. We can make it a string array, but of course we'll have to change the data allocated to it. We can make it a double array, but of course we'll also have to change the data. I mean, it does work, but I'll just add 0.0 to it. And we can make it a boolean array, but we'll also have to change the data to it. So for now, let's stick with integers. Using this, you can print out a sub I, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But, hold on. A sub 0 is the very first location. And we say it's equal to 1. A sub 1 will equal to 2. A sub 2 will equal to 3, A sub 3, 4, and A sub 4, 5. Now, with that in mind, we say that a for loop, you already know what a for loop is, and we say I equals 0, so A sub I, or 0, will print that out. So what's A sub 0 right now? It's 1. That's the basic principles of array. I hope you guys understood this. If not, please comment down in the description below, and I will actually explain it to you guys by commenting back. So, let's continue. Now, how can we, for example, not manually do it, but let the user do it. Well, that's easy. We just say, what if the user wants, let's say, a sub I equal, or a sub 0 equal 5, not 1. So we just say a sub I, so the very first position when it first runs, will equal to bob.nextInt. Now, remember that bob.nextInt, bob.nextLine, bob.next double, it has to correspond with the array too. So a sub I is equal to bob.nextInt. Now, look, let's say it's 5, right? 1, 4, and it prints out straight away because I made that in the code right here. See, after we enter it, it prints out. So it's storing it, right? Let's just finish it. 4, 4. So it actually works. But let's say, instead of doing that, we want to change those numbers up a bit. We want to add 10 to them. Go ahead. Plus equal 10. Now the reason I can't do plus 10 is because that means we'll have to create a totally entire different integer named I, or whatever you want, because we can't use I here because it's already used, but whatever you want, you can name it if you want to do a sub I plus 10. But it's much easier to do plus equal because you just add 10 and that will equal to a sub I. So you add a sub I plus 10 and you say that number is equal to a sub I. And you can do that with multiplication, division, subtraction, and any other operator. I keep entering. I'm sorry, guys. Now, with that, we'll just print out a sub I. Two, 4, 33, sorry. 4, 55, 66. So as you can see, it obviously adds 10 to each one. 4, 14, 55, 65, 66, 76. Good. But let's say the user wants to tell the computer that space. That is pretty easy. Int a equals bob.nextInt. Now, I'm sorry, I named it A, but you can't name it A, we'll name it C. There we go. The user can now change the space in the array because the user says that C, well, let's say, is 5, and then C is, since it's equal to 5, and it's right here, it says 5. Now, before we go in and run it and test it out, I want to show you guys something. If we make this a string, and pretend this says bob.nextLine, there's quite a problem here. Wow, Jesus Christ, what happened? Okay, so let's say we want space character. So let's say someone says 5. What was that? What was that jump? What's wrong? What's wrong? You probably think. Well, you can see it only did it 4 times. And that's because whenever you even do something with a string, I think I explained this before, you have to use bob.nextLine. Remember that, bob.nextLine. Always flush the buffer when using strings. So now let's go, so you pretty much can see that it works, but let's show it again. Next int a sub I plus equal 10. So it will work. And you can do this with multiplication, division, subtraction, whatever you want. You can make your own calculator with this, with the knowledge I gave you. So let's say it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, done. This is what arrays are. Now, let's continue on with files. Now, files are kind of, I would like to say, co-adjacent with arrays, or similar and help with arrays. They're not similar, I mean like they help with the arrays. So this is a file, data.dat, I created. By creating a file, you click on the source package, you press file, new file, and instead of a Java class, go to other, empty file. Name it data2.dat, let's say. Finish. Now, once you create that, you can type 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, blah, blah. You can do whatever you want. But remember, no commas whatsoever. You are not allowed to use commas. The computer does not like that. So let's say we save it. But you have to save it in this build, right next to the build. If you don't do that, the computer won't be able to read it at all. Remember that. Discard because I don't need that. We already have data.dat. Now, how can we actually read from this file? I'll create what I showed you in the beginning. Scanner Sue. Boom. We created Scanner Sue, and Scanner Sue can actually communicate with the file. Now, usually when we create an array of file, we usually say how much input is in there, and if we want to use it in an array, especially. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's say 6. And we just store that, and C is equal to Sue.nextInt. So Sue has the same exact characteristics as Bob, except it also has this thing called hasNext, or next, where it runs until Sue runs out of data. So it's in the file. Now we say a sub I is equal to Sue.nextInt also. Oh, not AW, Sue. It'll still work, except much less inputting. It just prints it out. See, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and of course it'll only work, it won't work for 6 because it's not less than C. Let's run that again to show you guys now that it will work. See, 20. Everything works perfectly. And that is how you can communicate with files through with arrays, and how arrays work. I hope you guys understand everything. If you do not, remember to leave a comment down below, and I will actually respond to that comment and try to help you understand this material a little better. So, the last thing I just wanted to show you was to help you understand that you can use whatever you want in arrays, in files and arrays. You can say hello world string. This is. So let's say we create string a equals new string. This will stay the same. Count how many data there is. There is 4 data, so 4. And we'll say next line. And remember, flush the buffer. Flush the buffer. Now, plus equal 10, I mean, it'll just concatenate it. But let's say we want only, oh wait, why is it asking us for input? Oh, I made it bob.nextInt. Guys, these are why we programmers really focus. Now, what's wrong with the code? Huh. Symbol 1. Hello 10. 1. Where does it ask for? I do not have a clue why it asks us for. If su.nextInt is for, hold on, that's su tab C. Okay, so once it gets here, it just doesn't like that for some reason. It doesn't like this bob.nextLine. It's pretty strange. Okay, it works either way. So everything works fine. It does, for some reason, didn't like my bob.nextLine. Well, as you can see, it works, but this is just to show you that you can work with strings, integers, arrays, and you can do anything with files. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys understood everything. Remember what I said about commenting, and please, if this video gets 100 likes, I will teach you guys about the snake and how to make the snake game. So remember, 100 likes. If it goes over the top, I will teach you not only how to make the snake game, but also how to make a quiz game where you can count the total number of points you get at the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to comment, like especially if you want that game, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Programming Boy out.